Jason Derulo. I'm feeling like a star. Your head's got no sign. I'm body cloud nine. My head's in the sky. I'm solo.
Hey, what is going on my fellow godladies and Warframe enthusiasts around the world? I'm Vance, and the animal kingdom can finally rejoice because it finally has a representation of the might of a knight in the form of Wukong and that extremely large dong. I mean, look at this thing. I think that if you got hit by this, you would probably need therapy. Your kids may need therapy. Hell, if I was smacked with monkey, I'd probably be needing therapy too. But I digress. This really is the Hulk smash of the Warframe universe. This Warframe has been taken for granted since day one, and due to his recent changes, we're going to make some changes to his build, making him Hulk smash and dash. So, looking at the adjustments that I've made here, I'm lacking the Exilus spot, which I will eventually fill with a handspring. I feel as though this is absolutely necessary. So if you're gonna go for a rebuild and you want to get the most out of your Wukong, add that extra forma, maybe put in an Umbra forma, because it's definitely worth it. Fit in the handspring. I don't have that here. Like I said, I'm not done. Kind of waiting on an Umbra forma to put this in, because it's totally worth it, and he's one of my main Warframes now. So I've got the Steel Charge here for my weapon increased damage for melee, and then adaptation because it's just beautiful. There's really not a whole lot of need for any other defensive capabilities as long as you're running this, plus an Umbro Vitality. Umbro Intensify is going to increase power strength, obviously, and you've got your duration, you've got a little bit of armor, you've got some health. Primal Rage is an augment that you're going to want to pick up because killing an enemy increases critical chance by 15%. The increase decays by 11% over a set amount of time. And so how I counter that is kind of with an Arcane Avenger, which I don't have complete just yet. Arcane Guardian is to help with defenses, and what's going to really contribute to this build is like what we did in the most recent God build, where we showed you a Haster Wraith form of Wisp is the Cyanex, and this build has not changed at all. It's still Souls. Now I know I'm using the Cyanex and the Harvester of Souls in 2 videos in a row, but believe me, I build Wisp and Wukong on the same kind of loadout, and I'm loving both ways that these Warframes are kind of centered around condition overload, because they're melee centric. One is supportive melee centric, and the other one is just hardcore DPS and a little bit of momentum. I mean, you can definitely use his second ability to get around and be mobile, so anybody who's like a free roam activist, then you're gonna love this Warframe here. So again, Rending Crane, this is satisfactory. It's definitely sufficient. You don't really need to upgrade to Temple Royale. You've got your Prime Pressure Point. Your Condition Overload is the most important mod here. Prime Reach, it's definitely gonna help. Prime Fury for attack speed, Drifting Contact for a little bit more status and combo duration time. Of course, the status for Volcanic Edge, Voltic Strike, and Virulent Scourge are present also. I also have Exodia Force, which this is at its unranked state. It will apply 5% chance to deal 50% weapon damage to enemies within 3 meters upon a status effect. Fully ranked, on a status effect you'll get a 50% chance to deal 200% weapon damage to enemies within a 6 meter radius. Now, as I also said in the Wisp God build, I don't really use a primary But in the instance that I am using a primary, because I mean, Wukong is able to create a celestial twin which uses your primary weapon, and this just wrecks. I mean, every time I'm in a crowd meleeing, it's almost as if my celestial twin is shooting the very thing I'm meleeing, which adds to like this kind of immersion that my melee is an explosive melee, because enemies will just be exploding with this thing. I've got Malignant Force, High Voltage, Infected Clip, Stormbringer, Serration, Hammer Shot, Split Chamber, and then a Riven for this because it just makes this bad boy hit like a truck. Now, so moving on to other areas of expertise with this build. The Iron Staff Prime. This is going to benefit from Condition Overload as well, so you're definitely going to want to include that with Drifting Contact, Prime Reach, Prime Pressure Point, Prime Fever Strike, Shocking Touch, Berserker, and Organ Shatter. Now, on its own, it's very impressive without any of the buffs and perks that this loadout brings to you, but when you start including the crit bonuses from the Adarza Kavat, then you've really got a champion loadout here. I use Reflect, Venom Teeth, Prime Pack Leader, Link Armor, Metapet Kit, Fetch, Link Health, Prime Animal Instinct, Frostjaw, and Cat's Eye. What I've observed from this build is that my cat usually never dies, which is insane because there's no Pack Leader present. Well, there's Prime Pack Leader, but just given the fact that I spend most of my time meleeing with this flame, you can see why this cat is just not going to go down. I mean, I'm meleeing 90% of the time and letting my Celestial Twin do the shooting for me. So it keeps this Kavat alive even in instances of really high level arbitrations, which is borderline my new favorite thing to do aside from Eidolon hunting. Now, one thing that I want to talk about in this build that I don't usually talk about in other builds that I've done is my inclusion of Wisp, the previous god build that we just covered, in this whole entire setup. What I do is I include a Vapor Spectre, which is the Wisp, built the exact same way that I did in the god builds episode 41. And I'll put her in my gear, and I'll throw her out, especially in an interception or a defense, whatever I'm doing, because what'll happen is the Vapor Spectre will put down the buffs that Wisp usually gets. So what you really have here is a clear opportunity for you to capitalize on being a Wisp and also being a Wukong at the same time. So anything in your general vicinity that is being attacked by you who is also buffed by your Wisp and your Adarza Kavat, your Condition Overload, the secondary weapon, you're just going to demolish, even more so than Wisp did in the previous build. I mean, using the same type of setup and mentality, you can really go in there and just melee and not have to worry about really anything. I've found that this Warframe has been completely restored in terms of fun and playability, survivability. It's just a really well-rounded build. So if you like this video and you learn something from it, it always helps if you smash that like button, do everything I always encourage you to do, and keep a lookout for all the new things that I've done, because I wrote a book, I'm working on a XXX comic, and I've got artwork that's being sold on my shop online. So again, guys, I'm a writer, illustrator, animator, and editor. I don't just do Warframe. Check out my other stuff. Please and thank you. And until next time, it's been Vance, signing out. Peace.